Hello everyone and welcome to Battle of the Beasts Reptile Rampage episode number 12. I'm Adam and today we got two more beasts fighting out for spotting round 2. Both of these beasts have competed in previous tournaments, 2 each actually, and whilst one has a great reputation in previous tournaments, the other does not, which makes this a bit of a one-sided fight. So why am I saving it for this late in the round? I don't know. When I was ordering the fight, I thought that the opponent, they both stand an equal chance. But the more I'm looking at this fight, the more I'm thinking this is going to be a very quick battle. So yeah, let's introduce the competitors. So representing Series 12, the Darkest Hour, we have Issrilla, the Creeping Menace, versus his opponent. I do not know. Yeah, I think Issrilla's a he. Versus his opponent, a representative of Series 19, the Kingdom of Dragons, the last beast from that series to be competing in this tournament, or in this round rather. We have Strytor the Skeleton Dragon, a former runner-up in the All Generation tournament. So both of these beasts going against each other. I'm not expecting this to be a long fight at all. But with that, let's get to the stats so we can learn more about both of these beasts. Issrilla the Creeping Menace. Issrilla is a mistress of disguise. This lizard beast from the kingdom of Henkral can blend into any background. Her skeleton is covered in a jelly flesh that changes colour, and she can sneak up on her enemies without being detected. Age 340, power 262, magic level 193, fright factor 93, size 305. Powers and abilities: possession and mind control. Issrilla can take over a creature's mind if she's able to enter them in some way. Natural weaponry: she has a barbed tail to sting her opponents and strike through strong surfaces, and her long tongue to coil around opponents. Venom breath. Camouflage. Venom breath. Issrilla can spit a venom which can burn through flesh, although this more resembles acid. Camouflage: Issrilla's flesh is transparent, less than camouflage against other bones. And tail detaching. Like regular lizards, Issrilla can detach her tail. Weaknesses: sunlight weakness and weak skeleton. Strytor the Skeleton Dragon. This beast forms himself out of a pile of bones right before Tom and Alina's eyes. He takes the form of a vast skeletal dragon glowing a hideous white against the night sky. Questers can see his fiery breath forming in his hollow belly, but are usually powerless to save themselves from his blast. Age 301, power 282, magic level 188, fright factor 94, size 326. Powers and abilities: flight, fire manipulation and breath, disassembly and limited camouflage, resurrection and reformation. Resurrection is bad, but he can reform himself. Reanimation: Strytor can reanimate the bones that cover the plane of bones into his own minions. Natural weaponry and enhanced durability. Minions, reanimated skeletons. Weaknesses: incapacitation. Strytor collapses after enough damage, incapacitating him for a short period of time. Okay, so with the stats department being done for both of these beasts, the battlefield is going to be in a skeleton graveyard with an overlaying mist. That way Issrilla doesn't get killed straight away by the sunlight. And with that, let's go into the battle. As the chamber doors open, both beasts exit from their chambers. Issrilla immediately camouflaging herself and lying down against the bones to stare at whoever she's going against. Strytor makes his way out of his chamber, lands on the sky on the perch, and roars into the arena. The reaction from the audience is the most intense cheering and roaring and support for Strytor that any other beast has received thus far in the tournament so far. And when Issrilla sees her opponent, Issrilla feels a little bit of dread creeping up through her for the Creeping Menace as well. That's brilliant. Issrilla quietly makes her way towards the border of the arena to not be seen by Strytor, as Strytor dives into the centre of the arena and stares around looking for his opponent. Strytor roars into the arena, commanding the bones around him to reanimate into skeletons. and Strytor orders the skeletons to scout around the arena, looking for his opponent. At this point, there's only a few piles of bones all over the area, in which Strytor realizes that his opponent must be hiding in one of these piles of bones. He orders all of his skeletons to attack each pile of bones to eventually find Issrilla, and eventually the minions do find Issrilla. Issrilla immediately jumps out, shows herself in all her glory, and starts slashing away at the minions with all her might, knocking them away with her tail, headbutting them, wrapping her tongue around their chests and throwing them away, using her claws, teeth, anything to knock them away. Strytor sees the commotion and decides that he can barely see through this mist, and decides he's just going to ignite a fire inside his belly to try and see more clearly. And with that, he does. He sees Issrilla, who feels the light from the fire on her flesh, which she backs away from more into the mist. At that point, Strytor notices that and realizes, hold on, no. So Strytor breathes fire to the left of Issrilla, missing intentionally, but Issrilla immediately backs away from the fire. Strytor then realizes he has this one in the bag easily. Strytor takes up to the sky, flapping his wings, dissipating the mist almost immediately. And with that, the sunlight from above strikes down on top of Issrilla. Issrilla starts screeching in pain, charging up towards Strytor to attack and quickly dispose of him. Strytor at this point is already out of reach, but as Issrilla is jumping up to try and reach Strytor, Strytor whips his tail down and lashes it right towards Issrilla, knocking her into the wall of the arena. At this point, Issrilla is able to see Strytor in all his glory, roaring into the sky. Issrilla realizes that she's done for almost immediately when this battle started. Strytor bows his head towards Issrilla, builds up fire in his belly, and shoots it directly towards Issrilla. Issrilla tries to run away from the impacts, but Strytor angles his head with the jet of fire following Issrilla, to where it eventually catches on to her tail. Issrilla stops for a brief second, and with that, the fire engulfs Issrilla. Issrilla screeching in pain as the audience swear they hear Strytor laughing as he's breathing the fire on her. Eventually, Strytor stops, and Issrilla is collapsed to the ground, struggling to even move, basking in the sunlight, feeling the burning from it. Strytor makes his way up to Issrilla and says to her, after pulling her head up, where they're staring eye to eye at each other, and says, "It's okay. You stood no chance against me. You know that. I look forward to using your skeleton as part of my army." For he lifts up her head even more and slams it right to the ground, shattering the skull, immediately killing Issrilla. Strytor roars into the arena, reanimating the skeleton army and other bones in the arena, including Issrilla, and they all follow Strytor into the arena, into his chamber. With the chamber door closing, the last thing we see is the fire burning in Strytor's belly. And the last thing they hear from Strytor is Strytor sending the telepathic message, swearing that he's going to win this tournament. Back with a vengeance he is. And with that, Strytor's won, Issrilla's lost. If you think Issrilla should won, please comment below. I think that had my worst final, and Strytor's moving on to the next round. Now, let's be honest here. I'm not going to beat around the bush. If you can think of a way Issrilla could beat Strytor, bear in mind the reputation Strytor has in previous tournaments, please let me know. But at this point in time, Strytor is the winner. There was no competition about it. And now Issrilla, her skeleton anyway, because it's visible, that's why I'm giving it to him. Issrilla now works for Strytor. How long will that last for? I don't know. And which beast will stop the minion Issrilla if she is to be stopped? Well, only time will tell. But with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.